Hello guys, this is AFROHADA. My name is Jesus.
And my name is Josh.
Today we came with another pop review episode.
And today we are looking at this film called Emancipation.
It's a drama which is on Apple Plus TV as an original content, which is directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Will Smith, which is about enslaved African American in Louisiana in the 1860s.
So the film is based on a very popular picture of an enslaved man called Gordon, or Whipped Peter. And this picture was very viral back in the day. It was used by the anti-slave campaigners to paint a picture of how evil slavery was.
I will come back to you!
You walk the earth because I let you. I'm your God now.
Actually, this is a question I wanted to ask you. It's 2022. There have been tons and tons of slavery films. So what do you think? Do we need another slavery film?
I think it's a bit hard to say all this film about the memory of slavery into slavery film. If it's focused on history, if it's focused on the love or religion or faith, all this experience.
So according to Jesus, we definitely need a slavery film. If you have to say yes or no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's always important to remember all the history and what is still going on with the different forms of slavery. I think it also happens in a small way in different regions and countries.
We were just saying, like, every country has their own story of oppression.
Even Korea, we had an experience as a colonial of Japan, but nowadays we can't see any historical moments at the time. And also we still observing Japan wants to change the history of some of island we have. It's really important to make a voice, keep recording of thing we experience.
If you don't talk about it or you don't show it, the human memory can be very short. Very soon people will forget. If it wasn't documented, nobody knows. So it has to be there documented. And if you have to repeat it to many people, there was this sort of oppression, it happened, and it should never happen again. So we can use the media to kind of store that information and show it to people. So one of the things we find in this film is the story of the Civil War in America, especially the story of the black soldiers. And the Civil War took place between 1861 to 1865, I believe. Towards the end of the war, there had been as many as 200,000 black soldiers who served in that war itself. And most of their stories are never told. So I think one of the key roles of this film is to bring to life these soldiers whose contribution brought an end to the institution of slavery itself. The stories of people like Gordon himself. After running away from slavery, he ended up being a soldier. And in essence, so he becomes from a liberated man into a liberator himself, someone who's trying to create kind of a new country, joining hands with people who don't support slavery. And that's one thing that we find in this film.
Antoine played Amazing Grace just to get everyone into the mood.
What we're doing here is more important than just the movie. Every one of you guys playing a soldier is playing somebody real. Somebody who really gave their life. You don't get to make these kind of movies that often.
The Bible says to all those who are in enslavement, obey your master.
Yeah.
Obey your master. And that keep occurring in through some scenes in the film. It's a bit confusing in a way that religion has two functions in this film. Peter, before he runs away, he really believes in God, and God is going to deliver him through whatever he's going to go through. He's going to deliver him from oppression. And once again, it goes back to the role of religion, especially the role of Christianity. Christianity has some verses in it that can be translated in a way that kind of supports oppression in the form of slavery. And the racists in that time, they used the Bible verses to their advantage.
What they can do is just say it, listen to it, and remember it. So I think religion and Christianity is really big role for them to endure the circumstance and to believe the hope that they will get released. And now I have a question to you.
Sure.
So you are from Africa. So I just want to hear from you about your general opinion or your personal feelings when you watch this enslaved Black American.
It reminds me of what the general feeling or rather knowledge of people is concerning slavery. A lot of people tend to think like slavery that brought Black people to America at that time, taking slaves from West Africa, was the only slavery. But there was more. There was also slavery in East Africa. And slaves that came from East Africa, they did not end up in America. They ended up mostly in the Arabian Peninsula. But their story is not told much, because I think our age is the age of information. We have so much that we know about the world right now, and those of us who can keep that going by creating more new content to broaden that information, I think this is our chance now. Another thing that I get from this film is it makes me understand the choices that Black people have to make, especially now with Black Lives Matter. And so for me, watching this film, and I see Black people cancel other people for demeaning what they went through over those 400 years of slavery, I understand why Black Lives Matter have to exist now, and it has to be so unapologetically pushing for the justice of Black people. I understand them fully.
In the film, they're from Haiti.
Oh yeah.
And they spoke French. Yeah.
French Creole.
Yeah. Can you share about the history of Haiti?
Of late, Haiti has been featured a lot in the media. We saw in the Black Panther 2.
Yeah, they're living in Haiti.
Right. But the institution of slavery was very real in Haiti. And it was so cruel, and the cruelty of slavery there later on inspires them to rise up against their masters to create the country. And that kind of connects to the story of Gordon. The first thing he does is to join the army to fight for liberation. It's so similar with the Haitian story. Rise up against your masters, create an army, and try to free many more regions that are still under enslavement. So I think what Director Antoine does with his story is kind of connect those dots. This man's story can as well be the story of other slaves who existed in Haiti.
And the Oscar goes to...
So away from the history and stuff like that, let's come back to the present. And in the present time, we have this thing called the Oscars for Best Movies. And I just want to know, does this film stand an Oscars nod, either for the film itself or for Will Smith?
Oh yeah, we need to think about two parts. Like film as a role of social influence, but also a creativity or some unique 연출, directing in it. And I feel like it's historically it's really important to share with people. But I think directing, imagery, visionary, it's kind of normal.
We've seen some of those images, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
So it's kind of wait and see. We don't know.
What do you think?
I think the other elements like, let's say, costume, makeup, those things really stand out. If you look at the sets, the wagons for the slavery, all those things put together really brings you back in time. I think like the production really went an extra mile.
Part of the reason Antoine wanted to come to Louisiana is because it's where the story actually took place. We were going to shoot in Georgia, decided to switch and come here and shoot in some of the actual locations.
So the real score is on that, the production as a whole. Yeah.
This is our pop review of Emancipation on Apple Plus TV. If you have any opinions or if you have any different thoughts, you can leave the comment on the comment section.
Yep, and on that note, if you have a film or any work of art that you think is culturally important and you want us to feature it, just let us know and we will do our best.
Thank you very much. We are AFROHADA and happy holidays.